Hello everyone, Jacob here. Today we're going to be talking about a very important structure when it comes to plus a noun or an ing verb. This structure is used all the time in everyday conversation in English. And in Korean, this basically translates to 뭐뭐뭐에 관한한 or 뭐뭐에 관해서. And we use this to make a general sentence or a general statement more specific. So let's go ahead and see what that means. If I say I'm picky, that's very general. I'm picky. I could be picky about many things. I could be picky about clothes. I could be picky about food. I could be picky about girls. I could be picky about many things. But if you want to make this sentence more specific, you can use about, like I just said. I'm picky about food. Okay? That's possible. Okay? And I think this is the same in Korean. But you could also use when it comes to food. When it comes to food. So in this case, we're using it with a noun, food, and we're making this first part, I'm picky, making this first part more specific. When it comes to food, I am picky. Alright, so that's basically the usage of this structure when it comes to plus a noun or an ing verb. But I do want to say one thing real quick, just something to be careful about. I'm going to put a little warning sign, something to be careful about. In this sentence, you can use about or you can use when it comes to. It doesn't matter in this sentence. The meaning is the same. But you cannot use when it comes to in certain situations where you would use about. All right? It's not to talk about the subject or the content of something. About is often used to talk about the subject or the content of something. For example, if I say, I'm reading a book about English, or I'm reading a book about Africa, you can't say, I'm reading a book when it comes to Africa, because in this case we're talking about the subject or the content of the book, and when it comes to is not to talk about the subject or the content. Alright, so you have to just be careful about that, because about and when it comes to, in some sentences you can use both, but in some sentences you can't. Alright, so I just want you to be careful about that, but let's go ahead and move on to our examples. Our first example, number 1. I have to be careful. I have to be careful. Again, this is a very general sentence. You don't know what I have to be careful about or why I have to be careful. But if I want to make this general statement more specific, I can add when it comes to soju. I have to be careful when it comes to soju. Yes, soju is a noun, so let's put that in blue. When it comes to soju. Soju is a little bit dangerous because if you drink a lot of it, you can get really sick or you can get really drunk. And maybe if you drink a lot of soju, it can make you do stupid things. So I have to be careful when it comes to soju. All right? Now let's go ahead and look at how to use this when it comes to with an ing verb. We already saw 2 examples with nouns, food and soju. Now let's look at it with an ing verb. When it comes to cooking, my mom is amazing. Now, I love my mom for many reasons, but when it comes to cooking, specifically about cooking, specifically related to cooking, I think my mom is amazing. All right, so again, I'm making this sentence right here, my mom is amazing, more specific when it comes to cooking by adding that. And so if you look in this sentence, when it comes to is at the beginning. It's in the first part. In this sentence, it's at the end. You can do it both ways. It doesn't matter. You can put when it comes to at the beginning, or you can put it in the second part at the end. All right. Let's look at one more example before we wrap up this lesson, and then we'll just wrap up. He's really shy when it comes to talking to girls. He is really shy when it comes to talking to girls. So again, specifically when it comes to talking to girls. Specifically about, or I guess that sounds a little bit weird, but yeah, when it comes to talking to girls, he is shy. He's not always shy, but when he's talking to girls, he is shy. All right, so that is how we use this structure when it comes to. I hope you understood. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you keep watching, and I'll see you next time.